Hello and welcome to Northern Ireland to the 41st running of the Antrim International Cross-Country. Superb fields as always across both the men's and the women's elite section. In the men's, we've got two silver medalists from the World Championships in London last year. Cheruiyot of Kenya, who picked up runner-up placing in the 1500 metres, and Soufiane Bakkali of Morocco, who picked up silver in the 3000 metre steeplechase. British hopes in Andy Vernon, who came third here in this event last year. And then in the women's section, Fionnuala McCormack, home favourite. She's won here twice in the past. She'll be up against a strong field as well. So let's get across and find out how they get on with the commentary team of Dick Cooper and Will Downing.
Back again at Greenmount. It all started in Mollusk in 1977 when Jerry Deegan solved Brendan Foster, who never ended up winning this crown. Will it finally be Andy Vernon's year? Steve Avent, John Tracy, Tim Hutchings, Eamon Martin, Labid Turgat, Liz McColgan, Paula Radcliffe, Katrina McKiernan, Fionnuala McCormack, Minnie Belletta, they've all won this. In terms of 2018, Margaret, Chelimo, Kipkemboi was 5th in the London World Championships in the 5,000 metres. For Ethiopia, there's World Junior silver medalist Alemitu Hawi and Fotyen Tesfay, 4th in the World Juniors in Bydgoszcz 2 years ago. There's Bontu Rebitu of Bahrain, and for Ireland, the twice winner here previously, Fionnuala McCormack. Quality as usual in the women's field, wearing 9, Bontu Rebitu of Bahrain, a World Championship semi-finalist. 10 was Alemitu Hawi, our international compatriot who's been a World Junior Championship medalist. Good crowd as always in Greenmount. And nice weather as well. The sun's shining, it's warm. Fionnuala McCormack going for a third title here. Previously the double European cross-country champion. Lots for Wales there. Martha Owen and Bronwyn Jenkinson we've seen. And Ireland well represented here as well as usual, including Laura Crowe and Maria McCambridge too. So the women's race for 2018 at Greenmount is up and running. Over 100 competing in this. Fionnuala McCormack, who won this title in 2012 and 2013, going for a hat-trick here. But as usual, Dick Cooper, there'll be lots of prime African contention to try and deny her.
Oh yeah, your money of course is on the Africans as per usual when it comes to cross-country. But it's good to see a good strong field of Irish ladies in the race. Fionnuala obviously is there, she's the perennial visitor here. The national champion for the last 2 years, Shona Heaslip, is in there as well. I see Maria McCambridge, I see Fionnuala Ross, who ran in Bratislava recently. So it's good quality field, and an interesting girl there from Wales, Verity Ockenden, who's been running quite well this year.
It's pretty much the same course. They go into the countryside here outside Antrim town, down one big dip into the forest, and Fionnuala McCormack is leading the way very well. Annabelle Simpson of the Scottish Celtic team was just behind her, along with Margaret Chelimo, Kipkemboi of Kenya, Fotyen Tesfay of Ethiopia, who's wearing 11. And then the club runners making their way through as well. Jerry Short of Beachmount Harriers wearing 3:07. So deep into the forest, they're coming out the big hill, and the big left turn is coming up as well. So Margaret Chelimo, Kipkemboi wearing 18, 5th in the World Championship 5,000 metres in London, wearing 11 for Ethiopia. Fotyen Tesfay, who was 5th in the World Cross Country Championships in the Junior in Kampala last year, and 9 behind her. Bontu Rebitu of Bahrain, that World Championship, a semi-finalist in the 5,000 metres in London, and also up there Alemitu Hawi wearing 10 for Ethiopia too, World Junior Championship silver medalist in 2014 in Oregon. Lots of the Welsh and the Scots making their way up. Bronwyn Jenkinson, Martha Owen, Kate Seary for Wales. And then the dozens more behind. There is a Celtic international involved in this as well, and club honours to be fought for too. Fionnuala McCormack coming out of the shadows. There's a field of 8 or 9 up there who are leading. Shona Heaslip going very well in the Irish singlet, but Margaret Chelimo, Kipkemboi with that very high finish, the reigning African Games champion over 5,000 metres, leads the way.
Yeah, Fionnuala's gone off quite aggressively. The ground is much firmer this year. In other years we've seen it quite sloppy and a lot of the girls slipping, but it looks far firmer, and of course it is a beautiful dry day here today. So Fionnuala is pushing it along. Good to see Shona Heaslip engaged there in the top end of the race as well. So we've got a lead pack that includes Fionnuala, Vicky Ockenden, whom I mentioned earlier, the Welsh girl, and Shona Heaslip, as well as the African contingent. Chelimo, of course, would have to be the favourite here, as she is the form lady in the race, but let's see how it unwinds.
Yeah, Verity Ockenden is in the white singlet with the green hoops, but she's just doing her best to stay up with the top 5 at the moment. Is Ockenden, as Fionnuala McCormack leads the way here. And each of her 2 victories here in Antrim came within weeks of both of her European cross-country titles in Velenia in Slovenia in 2011, Christmas time there, and then the following year just outside Budapest. Shona Heaslip just falling off in 7th place at the moment from that lead group, but it's Ockenden who's in the white, green and red just at the back of that, and really is punching above her weight impressively at the moment. She's been in the States and Texas at Lamar University. She's been one of the Lamar Cardinals. Swansea Harriers AC is her home club back in Wales. She's really fighting very well at the moment, and Shona Heaslip, with those last 2 Irish cross-country titles, is still well in touch too, and then a huge gap back towards the rest of the field.
Yes, that lead pack of 6 is really taking themselves away from the field quite aggressively. Shona Heaslip doing her best to hang on to it. It's going to be difficult for her, but I'm delighted to see her engage in the race and have a go, because Shona is the future of Irish cross-country. There she is there now. She's almost re-engaged with the group there. She's really fighting hard. She is, of course, a great Irish dancer as well, so dancing through the muck here might be easier for her than for some of the other girls.
Wearing 3 is Fionnuala Ross, 309 is Charlotte Christensen, and also going through the shot looked to be Melanie Wilkins of Wales. They're something like maybe 70-80 metres behind the lead group at the moment. Good to see Shona Heaslip has fought her way back up. It's a good old-fashioned traditional course. Wasn't able to make it to the European Cross-Country Championships this time around at Christmas time, just outside Bratislava. But Dick, this is certainly a course, bumpy, muddy, unlike what we've had in recent European cross-countries.
Oh, and this is what you want. This is cross-country. You can see how they're thrown around and how different people react when they're being thrown around. Some just get on with it, and others kind of sort of feel a little bit sorry for themselves, and that's the difference between the pure cross-country runner and the more road-inclined runner who doesn't like being thrown around. Fionnuala is under a little bit of pressure there. I think the Africans they're starting to push on. There's a very impressive trio there, and they have her under some pressure because they are making strong moves. Every time we hit a hill, they're making a surge, and it puts everybody under pressure, but most importantly, it puts the Europeans under pressure.
You'll notice how a lot of the athletes are avoiding that muddy section as well as they come back towards the main building, the clubhouse here in Greenmount, which is where our leaders are in front now. And Ockenden's been burnt off, and Shona Heaslip as well. We're down to 5. It's Fionnuala McCormack up there with Chelimo Kipkemboi, with Tesfay, with Rebitu, and with Alemitu Hawi as well. And McCormack will have to work very hard to overtake these. We'll see how hard she's pushing to stay amongst this elite group, and she is an elite runner still herself, of course. 12th, though, was for in Bratislava at the Europeans, which I know she was quite disappointed with.
Yeah, but she's had a fantastic career. She's one of our greatest ever cross-country runners. She's up there with Sonia and with Katrina McKiernan amongst the absolute greats of Irish cross-country. She's 2 European titles. She's a host of high finishes. She's a lot of medals, and she's a great competitor. Look at the way she just puts the head down and works and works and works to stay in touch with 4 girls who are obviously putting her under pressure at the moment. But she's a great fighter, Fionnuala. It's great to see her back, because she did have a kind of a lean period there during 2017 compared to her normal great heights. And look at the way she's just doggedly fighting her way back onto the back of that group.
With Ockenden in 6th place, Heaslip in 7th. They made a bit of ground on the leading group of 5 during part of this middle lap of 3 here at Greenmount, the Caffrey Centre. The Dan Clark Golf Course makes up part of this complex here. It's been very solid running right at the front from Margaret Chelimo Kipkemboi, the Kenyan who won the 5,000 metres at the African Games in 2016, and it was silver for her in the African Athletics Championships last year. So it's the final time that they make their way downwards into the forest, and Fionnuala McCormack still part of this pack, still part of that leading 5, but there's a lot of bodies lapped athletes that they have to make their way through now, and it's not going to be easy for any of them, but they're still ploughing through.
That's part of it. That's what makes it a great event. A big field is exciting for everybody. It's exciting for the front runners because they feel that they're part of something bigger, and it's great for the athletes who are down the field to be in there and say, I competed against Margaret, Chelimo, I competed against Fionnuala, McCormack. They're all on the same level for this particular race. There's Shona now. She's a little bit off the pace at the moment. She's dropping back quite rapidly, actually.
So into the final lap then, and there's been a strong move. Fionnuala McCormack's been left behind a little bit here, leading the way. Margaret, Chelimo, Kipkemboi, the high finisher, the 5th place from the World Championship 5,000 metres in London. She's wearing 18. Fotyen Tesfay of Ethiopia wearing 11, who was 5th in the World Cross-Country Championships in Kampala. And also Bontu, Rebitu's there as well. And up into 4th place here, this is Alemitu, Hawi. McCormack's back a little bit as Chelimo and Tesfay make the big move. There's one final turn for home here in Greenmount. It's between Kenya and Ethiopia for the gold once more in the Antrim International Cross-Country. It's Margaret Chelimo Kipkemboi for Kenya. She's pounced at the right time. She'll get the victory, a second ahead of Fotyen Tesfay of Ethiopia, with Bontu Rebitu of Bahrain in 3rd position.
It's all important that you get to that bend in 1st place, because it's so hard to get around another runner in such a short space of time, because it's a relatively short finishing straight. And Margaret Chelimo, she knew what she was doing there. She kicked for home, and she kept Tesfay on her outside all the time. So Tesfay had to run 2 or 3 meters probably further just to try and make the effort to get around, and of course she didn't have it.
Big sprint coming here. It's between Hawi and Ockenden, and Ockenden's just got it. The Welsh athlete in 4th place, Verity Ockenden, with Hawi back in 5th. Fionnuala McCormack takes 6th place in Antrim, having won here twice earlier in the decade.
That's a really good run for Verity Ockenden. She wasn't able to make the UK team for the recent European Championships, that she was 11th in their trial in Liverpool. So she's proved that she's better than that, and getting the scalp of, amongst others, Fionnuala McCormack today will certainly please her.
Yeah, and the white there was Charlotte Christensen of England, Cambridge and Coleridge AC. And in 8th position for Wales, Jennifer Nesbitt. 9th. For Northern Ireland, Fionnuala Ross, she's the Scottish half marathon champion. She's based over there with Shettleston Harriers, and she's the first Northern Ireland athlete across the line. And in 10th, it is Una Britton of Kilcool AC, the former Irish under-23 cross-country champion, and the 2nd member of the Britton family home.
That's a very good run by Una. She'll be well pleased with that top 10 finish.
So Kenyan dominance in Antrim continues. Margaret Chelimo Kipkemboi top of the podium.
Okay, Mark.
So it's the 3rd Kenyan women's winner in a row. Margaret Chelimo Kipkemboi succeeding Caroline Kipkurui and Alice Aprod. The 2nd to spare over Fotyen Tesfay of Ethiopia, with Bontu Rebitu of Bahrain in 3rd. Verity Ockenden for Wales in 4th. Alemitu Hawi of Ethiopia 5th. And Fionnuala McCormack, the first of the home athletes through, in 6th position. Fionnuala Ross, the first Northern Ireland athlete through, in 9th.
Margaret, tell us about the race out there. Tough conditions?
The race was good. Yeah, despite the climate here, it's good. Yeah, I like the way they organize for here is good. Yeah.
How did you find the wind when you were coming down the back there? Was it very windy conditions?
Yeah, it's a windy condition in this place actually, and it is also mad because of the winter season. Yeah.
And what, for the rest of the year, you've got the Commonwealth Games coming on, obviously. Is that your big goal for this year?
This year, yeah. This year actually I'm preparing for Commonwealth Games. We have trials in Kenya in February. Yeah.
And do you prefer running on cross country, or do you prefer to run on the track, because you do this 5,000 metres as well?
Actually, my event is 5,000. This is my first time to run cross country. My first year to run cross country actually, from last year and December and this January. It's good for me for the build up and for the future World Championship.
Fionnuala, 6th for you this time at a venue in which you've been so successful through your career.
Yeah, I suppose a bit disappointing of a result, but I tried hard. I put myself in a position that I probably wished I hadn't have halfway through the race, and after that it was kind of a case of trying to hang on, and I actually did. I thought I did quite well until I suppose close to the end. I don't know. I think it's when you're passing lap runners and you don't know what's happening in front of you and behind you, and it's kind of it gets a bit all over the place. And I think I probably lost a bit of concentration on the last lap, which it's not really like me. So I don't know really what happened there.
Yeah, what do you put that down to? Is it something that you would perhaps analyse afterwards?
Yeah, I suppose you can't overanalyze things either. Like, and a race is a race, and yeah, like a bit disappointed, but I probably move on to the race again next week. So.
Yeah, it's Edinburgh that's next on the calendar, coming off the back of still high finishes in the European cross-country in Slovakia and here in Antrim.
Yeah, high-ish, but not high enough, I suppose. So hopefully I can make it a bit better next week.
Yeah, but I mean, still, there is a level of consistency which is probably pleasing. How are you feeling at the moment?
Yeah, like I enjoyed that race more than I enjoyed Europeans anyway, definitely, and I think part of it is the course. I like when it's like up and down and broken up and twisty, turny, mucky and all that, so it kind of makes cross-country much more enjoyable than the kind of flat, boring European cross-country courses. So
yeah, what you mean totally unlike what we get now at international level, as you say.
Yeah, that's why it's great that this is an international race, and it's nice to be able to like showcase it to the rest of the world, and hopefully they come and run these races and enjoy it as much as we do, and then maybe more of the big races abroad or European cross-country even can kind of take a lesson from it maybe and make the courses more like this.
Yeah, so Edinburgh is obviously the next date on the calendar. You'll be running for the European team there, and the rest of 2018, is it an open canvas then?
Yeah, it's pretty much race next week and then make a proper plan, I suppose, from there. Because this, I suppose, is kind of the end of last year's season, so these two races were kind of part of last year, and then I'll move on for 2018 after that then.
Marathons still with a high priority then?
Yeah, like probably the first focus would be the World Half in March, and then there's Europeans in Berlin in August, so yeah.
So no top step at the podium for Fionnuala this time. There's Vernon and Swansea Harriers clubmate Vicky Jackson. Fionnuala remains in big demand. So next up, it's the IAAF Junior and Under-17 women's race. Celtic International in this as well. There's lots of Irish, Scottish, Welsh and Northern Ireland representation. There are titles for both age groups and Celtic International titles. So ready then for the junior women's race. Again, there's a Celtic International element to this. Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales, all jousting with each other. So away we go in the IAAF junior race. There are under-20 and under-17 gold medals up for grabs here, and Celtic under-20 and under-17 golds also. So immediately out in front, wearing 83, Amy Hayde of the Irish Celtic team for Newport AC, wearing 102 and starting very well. Samia Jones of Wales. She's assisted by Mia Roberts, Bronwyn Stratton-Thomas and Fionn Higginson. The full Irish team, Amy Hayde wearing 83, Emer Marr of DSD, Holly Brennan of Sillies and Lucy O'Keefe from Youghal AC, making a good move up on the outside, wearing 133. Eloise Walker of Scotland from Edinburgh AC, and she's the 1500 metres development champion of Scotland. And 907, Julia Paternian of Cambridge and Coleridge AC. She's also in the under-20, but Walker making a little bit of movement up on the outside on the left-hand side, and also up there looking quite solid in the early exchanges. Wearing 123 was Stephanie Cotter.
Yeah, good start there by Amy Hayde. Good to see her mix it there with the international competition. Notably strong Scottish squad in there, all surrounding Amy there. It's interesting, Scottish athletics has made great progress over the last few years, and of course they've got their heroes now. They've got Laura Muir and they've got Callum Hawkins up there on the world stage. So they're obviously doing something right in Scotland, and if they can do it right over there, so it's not beyond us to go to that level as well. So look at that now in the 6 leading positions there. You've got 4 Scottish vests. That's a message, a statement of intent.
Wearing 93 of Lagan Valley, representing Northern Ireland and Ulster, Aoife McGreevy. The rest of the field coming through wearing number 90 there and looking quite strong. Ava O'Connor for the Ireland development team. She's in the under-17 age category, and you saw Laura Healy there as well, wearing 87 also the Irish development team. But Scotland looking very good here, looking very strong. Eloise Walker wearing 133 from Edinburgh, and then her central teammate 134 is Kate Gallagher.
Plenty of aggression in Eloise's action there, and she's really pushing it on and bringing Kate Gallagher with it, and the field is disintegrating very quickly, because that's a really aggressive pace being set up front by those two girls who look exceptionally strong at this stage. Amy Hayde just back off the pace slightly and running very well, and after that then there's more Scottish girls and a few Welsh girls in there as well.
Ciara Frizzell 139, 135 is Claire Stewart for Scotland, 137 for Wales, making a good move up the pack and looking very, very strong. Wales trying to make a big impact here, but this is Eloise Walker. Look at the lead that she's opened up here for Scotland. Her international teammate Kate Gallagher is behind her at the moment, but that is an absolutely impressive lead. Gallagher in second place at the moment. They're both under 20 athletes, and it's another Scot in third at the moment. It's Ciara Gemmell. Now she is under 17, and here comes Gemmell on her way to a couple of gold medals here. Next up, 9:07, there's Julia Paternian. Also up there, Lynn McKenna, 8:22 in the yellow singlet, but making the big turn for home. This is Eloise Walker for Scotland. She's going to take the under-20 title, the IAAF crown. She'll win the under-20 Celtic International too. It's Eloise Walker for Scotland, 14 minutes 1 second, and a very, very impressive winning margin of around 15 seconds. Kate Gallagher in second place for Scotland. It's a great Scottish performance here. They will win the Celtic International, the team gold. They've got all the medals here. And Ciara Gemmell comes through to win the under-17 titles, both the under-17 IAAF, the under-17 Celtic. Amy Hayde comes through in second place, the under-17, fourth overall. Julia Paternian in fifth. She's third in the under-20s. Lynn McKenna is sixth. Seventh overall, Lily Jane Evans-Hegarty for Scotland. She's fourth in the under-17, and it's the bronze medal in the under-17 Celtic International for her as well. Stephanie Cotter coming through in eighth place. That's fourth in the under-20 and third in the under-20 Celtic International.
Well, there was four Scottish girls in the top six. It's true what they say, a rising tide lifts all ships. It's very, very impressive from the Scottish athletics organisation that they have managed to raise the standard so much over in Scotland in the last few years. I'm really impressed.
And justifiably so too. Scotland with a clean sweep of all the golds here. Eloise Walker from Edinburgh taking the IAAF Junior Women and the Celtic International titles from her teammate Kate Gallagher. Julia Paternian of England with the IAAF bronze. Stephanie Cotter the Celtic International bronze. Ciara Gemmell of Scotland taking the under-17 girls. Head of Ireland's Amy Hayde, with Lynn McKenna of England in third in the IAAF event, and Lily Jane Evans-Hegarty of Scotland taking the bronze behind the usual top two in the Celtic International. Eloise Walker completely upright to claim the IAAF Junior Women's title. This is the Celtic International presentation. Gold to the Edinburgh AC athlete, with Kate Gallagher of Central AC, silver for Scotland, and Stephanie Cotter of West Muskerry AC, the Irish 1500 metre schools champion, with the Irish bronze. Under 17 gold going to Ciara Gemmell of East Lothian in Scotland, Amy Hayde of Newport in Ireland with the silver, and Lily Jane Evans-Hegarty of Victoria Park, City of Glasgow, the bronze.
Eloise, happy with that result, obviously?
Yeah, I was so pleased because I've been working really hard for this race. Like, the past couple of weeks have been just, for Celtic, so I'm so happy to come out with a gold and a win. So, yeah, I was so happy.
Your teammates all did so well as well. Were you working together as you went around there?
Well, we're all like really competitive with each other. Obviously, we race a lot together in like Scotland, so I think we just did a normal race, but we ended up working well together as a team because we're all like quite similar pace. So yeah, me and Kate were sort of running together at the end. It was really nice to push each other on, and yeah.
Now, I've been here before and the conditions haven't been this good. It's a lovely sunny day, but there's a bit of a wind as you came down towards the back there. Yeah,
so it was really windy sort of along here. So my plan was to just stay like with a group to like keep from the wind and everything. But once you got down there in the woods, it was like fine. So I sort of tried to push the pace a bit more, and towards the end, I just was like, oh, just go for it. Like, it's the finish. So yeah, it was hard though. But
great way to start the new year. What are your plans from here?
I've got the Edinburgh run next weekend, so that's always been one of my favourite events. But this was like Edinburgh, and this one's the main one. And I've got like a while, and then I've got Scottish Nationals, so that's the next aim after the Edinburgh.
Well, Kira, it was quite a day for Scotland with Eloise winning as well.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I think we really placed well as a team and we all get on really well together, so it was a really successful day for Scotland. Yeah.
How important is that when you're working as a team as you're going around, even though subconsciously you're working as a team maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is really important because we all race each other back in Scotland and we're all good friends, so it's really nice just to come together in that kind of team atmosphere sometimes, and it's really important. Yeah.
Interesting that when you're good friends, how difficult is it when you're out there on the course?
Well, it kind of all stops at the start line, the friendships, but I think it kind of helps us work together better as a team. We know where each other's strengths are and we can pack quite well, so yeah.
Great start to the year. You've got Edinburgh, I think, which is coming up next weekend, so we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. Yeah. Well, there's various Scottish national events and hopefully building towards the track season. There's various Scottish schools events and Scottish national events in there, so hopefully, yeah.
And what?
Andy Vernon has been on the men's podium 3 times. Can he make it a 4th? Can he get his first gold here in Antrim? He's up against good athletes from Kenya, Ethiopia and Morocco, with Cheruiyot of Kenya and Bakkali of Morocco winning silver medals at the World Championships in London. Springwell AC among the representatives for this men's race. Always top class. Scotland here for the Celtic International as well, as they're represented by Aidan Thompson, Craig Jardine, Ross Gollan and Ewan Gillam, who's won a few underage titles here before. Wearing 36 here in the Irish singlet, Hugh Armstrong has had a great time of it in the United States of late. So 4 laps here, it is 8,000 metres in the men's race. Timothy Cheruiyot of Kenya, Soufiane Ekbali of Morocco, Mogos Tuemay of Ethiopia. Peter Jan Hannes of Belgium wearing 25, 27 is Andy Vernon, who's been on the podium here 3 times. He's never won it, 1 silver and 2 bronzes. He's been a World University Games champion, double glory in Zurich in the European Championships in 2014 when he had a silver and a bronze behind his teammate Mo Farah, and he's out in front. It's a course he loves and the course loves him. Can he get on the podium and maybe be top of the podium this year?
Yeah, it's a great field and a very competitive field here this year, and good to see some really good Irish runners in there. Recently in the European Championships in Bratislava, the Irish team had a very good performance, finishing 5th. 2 members of that team are in there today, Kevin Mansell and Hugh Armstrong from Ballina, County Mayo. And they're joined by Mark Hanrahan, who is a very fine cross-country runner in his own right. So I'd be looking for a strong performance from them. Armstrong's an interesting character. He's been on scholarship in America over in Providence College with Ray Tracy for 4 or 5 years. He's graduated now. He's going to stay over there, I think, and do a master's for a year or 2. But he's really coming of age this year, and his run in Bratislava was inspiring, along with Kevin Mansell, who's 36 years of age now, and like fine wine seems to be getting better every year, and it's great to see him running so well as well and getting the green vests after all these years.
So it's Andy Vernon at the front alongside Kenya's World Championship silver medalist from London last year in the 1500 metres and an African Championship silver medalist as well, wearing 28, Timothy Cheruiyot. 37 there is Trevor Dunbar of the United States, University of Oregon, and 38 for Wales from Swansea, Christian Mark Jones, who was the World University Orienteering Champion in 2016 and moved into athletics the year after. The Irish Celtic team just passing through there, Paul O'Donnell, Patrick and Jack McGowan and Tom O'Keefe there as well. 3 from DSD and the other from KCH. It's the first lap of 4, and again, a couple thinking about going quite wide. Soufiane Bakkali of Morocco, who went wide silver in London in the 3,000 metre steeplechase, and quite a gap between that leading group of 7 or 8 and the rest.
Not sure what kind of shape Andy Vernon is in presently. He wasn't on the UK team in the Euro Champs there recently. Not sure why, but because they always have such a strong team. But he loves this course. He's a regular visitor here, of course, and that rugged style of his and build seems well suited towards being thrown around on the hills. And he seems to just be in his element around Greenmount here. He seems to love coming every year.
Yeah, Peter Jan Hannes of Belgium, who's here most years, and we see him on the European and international circuits. I don't see him in that leading group. I wonder if there's been a little mishap that's been falling him on the way. Mogos Tuemay of Ethiopia, wearing 26, just on the back of that leading group of 7. Introduce him. He finished 4th in the World Junior Championships in Eugene, Oregon in 2014, and he also won a team bronze in the African Cross-Country Championships in 2016. Jones up there, Dunbar, and just behind them those leading Irishmen of Hugh Armstrong, Mark Hanrahan, Kevin Monsell, who we've seen in the European Cross-Country Championships in the past couple of weeks just outside Bratislava in Slovakia. Andy Vernon, just great rhythm from him. Cheruiyot, likewise a different style, but they're the two who are dragging the rest of this group of 7 along with them, and impressively so too.
He loves to lead, Vernon, and having said that, he's gone back into 4th place, but normally he loves to lead and grind it out, and he's very good at it. An interesting competitor here is Dunbar from the University of Oregon. There's the 3 Irish boys now, just off the pace. It would be nice if they could get a little bit closer to the lead pack, because you can see from that camera angle that they're reasonably near, and they have the insights. They certainly will pick up any pieces if it comes out the back door of that first group.
Yes, also up there for Scotland, wearing 31, is Luke Traynor. He's been at Tulsa University in the United States, from Glasgow City, Giffick North Club. He finished 2nd in Edinburgh last year and was 5th in the Montferland run in the Netherlands last autumn. He's a 4 times All-American. And the Irish trio staying together of Monsell, Hanrahan and Armstrong from Clonmel, Lee Vale and Ballina ACs respectively. Bit of a stumble, but they're all up and over the hill.
Yeah, you can see how tough it is, that hill, and of course it gets muckier and slippier with each passing lap. So Kevin Monsell took a bit of an almost fall there, but he managed to stay on his feet. Armstrong looking good there, and Hanrahan's a beautiful runner when he's in good form. He lacks a little bit of consistency at times, but he's always there or thereabouts. He's a fine athlete.
It's effectively a leading group of 5 now. It's Cheruiyot, Tuemay, Bakkali and Vernon. Christian Jones there as well. Christian Mark Jones for Wales, just falling off the back a little bit. Trevor Dunbar from the University of Oregon, 11th in the World Junior Championship 5,000 metres back in 2010. And behind him in 7th place, Luke Traynor for Scotland. The Irish trio taking up the next 3 spots, 8, 9 and 10. Vernon still keeping in touch, and Jones as well. At the leading trio from Africa now, Timothy Cheruiyot, Mogos Tuemay, Soufiane Bakkali, Cheruiyot and Bakkali, winning silver medals in the last World Championships in London 2012. But Christian Mark Jones, who was 4th in the Orienteering World Championships in Sweden last year, as well as being the reigning World Universities Orienteering Champion, he is sticking to them for the moment. Vernon just off that leading group of 4 in 5th place.
Yeah, Jones is the surprise of this race, and Vernon won't like to see him up there. I'd say he'll be keeping a close eye on him, because he has Vernon under pressure there, and he's just been dropped off the lead 3. Dunbar is a fine track runner. He looks like a miler there in his build.
Yeah, Aidan Thompson of Scotland going through, 74. James Hunt, 81 of Wales. Daniel Nash of Wales wearing 40. Back in towards the forest again. And there is quite a gap developing now. Bakkali of Morocco, Tuemay Ethiopia, Cheruiyot of Kenya. And they're fighting their way through the pack here. They've lapped a considerable amount of the course. And back in 4th and 5th, it's still Jones and Vernon amongst all of those lapped athletes, and they are bounding up that infamous hill.
Yeah, the Kenyan and the Ethiopian are battling it out. They're trying to get rid of the Moroccan, and he's hanging in there doggedly. Harder for him, I would imagine, with his height on this type of course, but so far so good for him. Vernon now has got ahead of Jones, and is that an Irishman coming up there?
It looks to be. It could well be Hugh Armstrong, who's making his way up into 7th place and making a good surge. Now they're having to make their way through lapped athletes here. Remember, there are lots of club championships being competed for today, but the main battle at the front, Mogos Tuemay of Ethiopia wearing 26, Cheruiyot 28, and Bakkali 29, who did finish 7th in the juniors in the World Cross-Country Championships when they were held in China 3 years ago. Vernon has made a big move up into 4th place now. Jones is back into 5th, and Vernon in 4th place, looking to take out the British Cross Challenge, which is for British athletes here. He's leading Jones in that, and he might still have a chance of the big podium here. 1 lap to go.
Bakkali is hanging in there tough, and you have to hand it to him now. If we've 1 lap to go, and the two Africans, you know, they have a score to settle between themselves here. They're 2 quality athletes, and Bakkali is up there in company that, dare I say, he shouldn't be, but he is hanging in there very well, and he looks like a miler. He looks like a man who would have a bit of finishing speed. The key for him is, can he survive the surges that are inevitably going to come on the hills in a minute?
So it's between Kenya, Ethiopia and Morocco in that order at the moment. And Bakkali, mainly a steeplechaser. He finished 4th in the Olympic Games in Rio 18 months ago. Solidly in 3rd place behind Cheruiyot and Tuemay at the moment as they go through the forest for the last time. All these lapped runners, and it's caused a problem for Bakkali. He's fallen back by around 25-30 meters. It's Cheruiyot and Tuemay who are leading the way. Tuemay's in the blue, Cheruiyot in the multicolored singlet. Bakkali is in 3rd place.
As we expected, it's down to Kenya and Ethiopia now. That's a very significant move, and inevitably it came on the hills, and Bakkali was found wanting going up there. I think he'll do well now to hang on to 3rd, because Andy Vernon will have seen that comeback, and Andy will put his sights on him now. Whether he has enough time to close a quite considerable gap, I'm not sure, but look at, here we go again with Ethiopia versus Kenya.
Well, it is one of the big sporting rivalries, no matter what the sport. Cheruiyot, the World Championship silver medalist over 1,500 metres. They've got a bit of competition from a lapped runner on the far side, but into the closing straight, it's Cheruiyot on the right, it's Tuemay on the left. Who's it going to be? It's so tight between these two. It's tight all the way to the line. That's a photo finish, if ever there was one, at the end of an 8,000 metres cross-country race. That was an astonishing finish between Cheruiyot and Tuemay.
I think we'll leave that one to the judges, Will.
Absolutely astonishing. In 3rd place, it's Bakkali for Morocco, the World Championship steeplechase silver medalist from London 2017. Andy Vernon comes through in 4th place. He wins the British Cross Challenge from Aldershot, Farnham and District. And in 5th, Christian Mark Jones, the Welshman. Quite good on the track, certainly out in the field as he showed in orienteering. Trevor Dunbar coming through in 6th place. Hugh Armstrong in 7th for Ireland. Luke Traynor in 8th for Scotland. 9th, Kevin Munsell. That's Mark Hanrahan coming through in 10th place. 11th, Aidan Thompson for Scotland. 12th, James Hunt for Wales. So the leading Irishman home, Hugh Armstrong in 7th position.
Yeah, they're good Irish performances. It's good to see them there, first of all, competing in that kind of company. So they're very strong runs from Armstrong, Munsell and Hanrahan. The Welsh runners, notably Christian Mark Jones, I noticed a huge surge in the standard of Welsh runners. We've Dewey Griffiths and Josh Griffiths, and interesting to see that out of the valleys now are coming some really good runners to follow in the traditions of the great Steve Jones from back in the day.
So now let's take a proper look at this as to who has won the Antrim title. Cheruiyot against Tuemay. Cheruiyot definitely looks with the naked eye to have got his body in front there. The freeze fray will tell all. That is Cheruiyot's win, and it's another Kenyan victory here in Antrim. We'll talk about another well-timed triumph for Timothy Cheruiyot, who by winning the Van Dam meeting in Brussels in September was crowned the Diamond League 1500 metres champion for 2017, and he wins by the tightest margin ever seen in Antrim. Mogos Tuemay of Ethiopia the silver, and Soufiane Bakkali of Morocco the bronze. What a race! They've got a bit of competition from a lap runner on the far side, but into the closing straight, it's Cheruiyot on the right, it's Tuemay on the left. Who's it going to be? It's so tight between these two. It's tight all the way to the line. That's a photo finish if ever there was one at the end of an 8,000. So Kenya now have 6 out of the last 9 men's Antrim cross-country titles. The last non-African born winner to claim it, Dathan Ritzenhein for the United States back in 2005. You will never see a tighter race than this. Mogos Tuemay of Ethiopia the silver, Soufiane Bakkali of Morocco the bronze, with Andy Vernon 4th, Christian Jones 5th, Trevor Dunbar 6th, and Hugh Armstrong, the first Irish athlete through, in 7th position.
Timothy, happy with that performance?
I'm happy today because I win the race. Yeah.
Very hard finish there at the end. Cross country is never really that close.
It was hard the finishing because I was with my competitor from Ethiopia, but I was it on. Yeah.
And you've obviously raced here before. This is the first time you've won, though. How happy are you about that?
I'm happy today because I win. The last time, 2016, I was number 3, but today I win. I thank God for that.
It's been a very good year for you, silver medalist in the World Championships, and now this. Where to this year for you?
This year, I plan to go to Commonwealth Games, and then I want to retain my title of Diamond League. Yeah.
You obviously are very good on the track as well, and you run this. Would you prefer running on the track compared to cross country? Which one's your favourite?
The track is my favourite because the cross country is very, very hard, but it is good for build-ups. Yeah.
How do you go running in these cold conditions? There's a little bit of sun today, but it was quite windy as well.
Today was cold, but I tried to push it down. Yeah.
It's a tough course. It's hard to get around, and it's hard to just keep on fighting and fighting and fighting, and when you start to lose it a little bit, you've kind of got to just surrender almost and make sure you get to the finish line. I mean, the guys that I'm racing here, 2 of them are silver medalists this year, and I'm not entirely sure about the other guy, but they're all good worthy opponents anyway.
Yeah, all quality and on a great traditional cross-country course that you must relish.
Yeah, I mean, it lacks the hills, but the mud certainly makes up for the lack of hills, and it really is a kind of a true cross-country course in that respect. I think I was in 4th position from going into the second half. I think I was in 4th then, and I didn't really get it back. So yeah.
And the Celtic international field again dominates the IAAF junior men. Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales heavily represented here. This the IAAF junior men's race. Under 20, under 17 IAAF and Celtic international titles are up for grabs here as well. Lots of jostling, huge field of over 100 here in this IAAF junior contest. And again, Scotland and Wales performing so well here. You can see just coming over the hill as we go in towards the Forest. Dominic Smith of Wales was up there, and the Scots, Gavin Smith, Finlay Todd, Drew Pollock and Faisal Kersuid, as well as the rest of the international and the club runners make their way into the Forest.
I would be hopeful of a strong Irish performance here today, on the basis that in the recent European cross-country championships the Irish team did very well in the junior race. We have a very good squad of junior athletes in the country at the moment, and this particular squad that's here today is known as a development squad, so they're coming up behind the guys who finished 6th, I think it was, in Bratislava there before Christmas, some of whom are eligible again for next year. And I'd particularly be looking out for the likes of Jamie Battle from Mullingar, who's really become a shining light over the last few years. And of course, those north of the border will be looking at Craig McMeekin, the national junior cross-country champion. He finished 37th in Bratislava. He won the national in Abbottstown last December. He's in there, and I'm sure he'd love to perform on his home soil here.
Yes, Craig McMeekin of North Down. He's with the Northern Ireland and Ulster team. 44 there is Jamie Battle going out wide wearing blue. 867 Rory Leonard of Morpeth Harriers NAC. 57 going through there for Wales. Dominic Smith up in the top 10, all very heavily congested at the moment. James Gillen you saw going through there of Law and District. But this is the same distance as the senior women's race, so they do 3 laps of the course. There almost a little stumble there by Rory Leonard, but he recovered well. Jamie Battle is 44. For Scotland, 53, Finlay Todd. Just behind him, 52, Gavin Smith, Scotland international teammates. And Sean O'Leary, also representing Ireland. He's got the beanie hat on, 273, well up in the top group at the moment. But Scotland very well represented in this as well.
Yeah, Sean O'Leary's a regular visitor to this particular event and always runs well in it. But Jamie Battle is in there, the smaller guy, number 44 there at the top of the field there. Jamie is coached by Joe Ryan in Mullingar, who's a fantastic developer of young talent. He developed Jack O'Leary there recently before he went off to America. And we'll be keeping a close eye on Jamie and the progress that he makes. But right there, he looks like he's going very well. He's stretching the field out, and he's taking on Rory Leonard, who from Morpeth Harriers in the northeast of England.
Yeah, Battle and Leonard are the top 2 up the hill, and Fintan Stewart passing by. It looks Paul Hartnett's making a little bit of move as well, and Spencer Smith. But look at the gap now for the top 2, and these are battling for the overall title, but also Battle is leading the under-20 race. Leonard is leading the under-17, but because he's with an English club, then the Celtic title at under-17 may well be up for grabs too. The Welsh might fancy a little nibble at that, as Joseph Crutchley 56 and Elliot Lawrence 55 make their way around. So the overall race, it's Jamie Battle leading Roy Leonard at the moment, but as I say, they are both leading individual races at the moment. Battle looking for 2 golds and Leonard just the 1, but they're all valuable. Sean O'Leary in 3rd place, he's an under-20, 2nd in that category. He's ahead of Gavin Smith. Just behind wearing 52, 53 is Finlay Todd, and 48 is Craig McMeekin. They are all under-20s. Bit of a gap back then towards the Welsh, wearing 56, that's Joseph Crutchley. 55 is Elliot Lawrence. They're both under-20. Wearing 50 for Northern Ireland, Fintan Stewart. Then 107, Cian McPhillips, and he, the Longford man, is leading the Celtic under-17 race, but a colleague of his having big trouble in the far end of the course.
Yeah, this is very good standard race, and I'm looking forward to when we get a shot. Oh, there we have it now of Jamie back up front. He's actually broken Ross Leonard. He's got a few seconds on him now. He's made a decisive move. And doesn't he look like a man who's well suited to the country? He floats over the grass very easily. There's Sean O'Leary having his best run of the winter in 3rd place. And Ross Leonard somewhere in there between the 2 of them. So this is really competitive race.
And 8.56 there was the lap to runner as we go into the final straight. Jamie Battle from Mullingar Harriers leading the Irish Celtic team. He's the under-20 IAAF champion. He wins the under-20 Celtic crown as well, and Rory Leonard wins the under-17 IAAF crown in 2nd place. The 3rd man over the line will be Sean O'Leary for Ireland. He will be 2nd in the IAAF under-20 and the under-20 Celtic as well. And shooting forward, Gavin Smith, he comes through 4th, 3rd in the under-20, ahead of Finlay Todd, his Scottish teammate. Then is Craig McMeekin, who's 6th overall, 5th in the under-20 for Northern Ireland and Ulster, with Dominic Smith of Wales just behind him. And here comes Cian McPhillips from Longford. He's 8th overall. It will be silver in the IAAF under-17, and he's the Celtic under-17 international champion. Elliot Lawrence of Wales next over the line. He's under-20, ahead of his Wales under-20 teammate Joseph Crutchley, with Faisal Kerheed of Scotland coming through next. And then the silver medalist in the under-17 Celtic, bronze in the under-17 overall, Paul Hartnett of Ireland.
Yeah, it was a really good race. I don't know how you deciphered all those various categories, but I'm very impressed with Jamie Battle in his victory in the under-20. Ross Leonard, obviously the 2nd guy from Morpeth in Newcastle in north of England, he won the under-17 race, and in fairness, he was only 5 seconds off Jamie, so he's got a big future ahead of him. And some really good performances down the field, because when I glanced down at the times, they're all very closely bunched there, so that was almost the most competitive race of the day.
Terrific victory then for Jamie Battle of Mullingar Harriers, claiming both the IAAF Junior Men and the Celtic International titles, 9 seconds clear of Irish teammate Shona O'Leary, with Gavin Smith and Finlay Todd, the Scottish duo, in 3rd and 4th. Craig McMeekin, the top Northern Ireland athlete, in 5th. Rory Leonard and Morpin Harriers in England claiming the under-17 boys gold, ahead of Cian McPhillips of Longford in 2nd, Paul Harton in 3rd, Adam Ferris and Micheál McCall of Achill, they tying in 4th, and McPhillips claiming the under-17 boys Celtic title, 13 seconds clear of Hartnett.
It was a very tough course, especially down the hill on the back. It was extremely mucky. It was a windy day out there and there wasn't much cover provided by the trees, so I was just happy to get away with the win.
How difficult does a win make it in a cross-country event such as this?
Very difficult. It kind of ruins your stride a bit, so you kind of lose momentum, and in a cross-country race, it's hard to get the momentum back with all the muck and everything, so it does have a big impact.
Just talk us through, how do you pace yourself in a race like this?
Just focus on a fella in front of you and just try and match his strides, I think, is what I usually do, and then try and work your way up as the race goes on.
Jamie, quite some endings to that race. How did you feel there? It looked as if Rory had your measure at one point.
Yeah, I was tired. I seen him go and I just tried to hang on to him, and the hill, coming down the hill, I decided to go there, and hopefully the hill would take me home. Yeah.
The two of you seemed to get out there with about a lap and a half to go. Was it a strategy of you to get out in front at that point?
Yeah, well, I was feeling quite good and the pace was pretty slow, so I just decided to pick it up, and I was feeling good, so I just kept going.
So now a look at the youngest competitors in the Flahavans Primary Schools races. The girls' race won by Grace Prenter of Dundrum, South Dublin. She did the lap, 5 minutes 41 seconds, with Avon McCormack of Glaslough Harriers in 2nd and Lauren Miney of Anley AC in 3rd. Lots of keen activity in the boys' race as well, which Albert Patton of Kilbarchan AC took 3 minutes 12 seconds. That's all he did the circuit in, with Alex Watson of Dromore AC in 2nd and Finn Diver of Beachmount Harriers in 3rd.
Well, that's it for another year. A Kenyan win in the women's, Margaret, Chelimo, Kipkemboi. A Kenyan win in the men's as well. Timothy Cheruiyot adding to that Diamond League title and the 1500 metres silver medal last year at the World Championships. The weather has been not too bad, actually. It's been a nice sunny day, a bit breezy, but we'll take that. Till next time, from myself, Tulson Tollett, and the team, it's bye for now.